I wanted to upgrade my CAD package, so I started using Fusion to design and program my Onefinity Elite Foreman CNC router. I'll walk you through how I did my first programming of this Cedar bowl.
All right, so we've got our Cedar bowl. We go to manufacturing. Now we've got to program it. So the first thing we do is go to setup. Setup, it's milling. So we need to put in our coordinate system, which I always go from here. That's how I set it up. So when I zero my stock in my CNC machine, it works. I don't have a fixture. The model is just the body. So now if we go to stock, fixed size box, my particular blank is 5 inches. Well, the calculated is 5 by 5 by 5. And so 1.5 inches. So mine is 1 5/8 inches. And the model position is centered. Okay. So if we look at it from the top, looks good. So my blank is actually 5.5, 5.5, and 1.625. So now if we look at it, it looks like that. So post processor, program name number. I'm going to call this Cedar blank test bowl. And say OK. And the first thing I want to do is face it. So that's the surface I want to face. All right. So the heights, if you look at get rid of that, heights. So you can see the bottom is 0.0625, the top, let's look at that again. Bottom's 0.0625. So I'm still in orbit, so it won't let me do anything. The bottom height, I left it 0. The passes, so direction, pass extension, stock offset, 0, step over. I'm just doing a test. So I want multiple maximum step down. I'm going to make 0.63 just because I want to see. And then we come over here and say OK. So I forgot the tool. And we're in a softwood. Select. And that's what it looks like. So it does odd things. So it's trying to optimize. It did not cut out the center, which I really wanted it to. But let's go to simulate. And then you can watch. So it's trying to be efficient, and it does that. It doesn't quite come up far enough here. It should come one pass further. I'm not sure why it does that, but I'm going to go with it. So now the next thing we need to do is a 2D pocket. And pick the bottom. The tool's the same. Geometry is the pocket. Axis, I never look at. So now we've got, we look, our top is too high. So why is that? Well, that's where it's going to start. So passes, okay. I want multiple depths. I don't want it to cut that in. So I'm being very conservative, so I'm only cutting it 1/8 of an inch. Finishing step downs. See with step downs. So now we come over here, leads, transitions. I left it at the helix, 2 degree. Let's say okay. Now if we hit simulate, we can look at now I want to hit the front view. You can see it didn't go all the way down. That's a new problem. So let's exit simulation. Let's come back here and hit edit. Stock to leave. That's why I didn't want that. So let's go back, hit OK, and let's simulate. And if I grab this, we look in, see that I have no stock. That's what we wanted. So that worked. Hit edit. I go to finishing pass. Number of finishing passes 1, step over 0.25. I'll say OK. And it works fine.
So now we simulate again. And then we stop, we go click and go down to the front view to see if we got what we want. Make sure we go clear to the bottom of the pocket. So one trick that I learned that saves me a lot of time is I can go down to the timeline in the simulate and I can grab the cursor and pull it backwards and forwards. And it's much easier to hit the spot you want, the spot of interest. So that looks pretty good. That's what I wanted. Now it's time to cut out the outside. So we go up to 2D and go down to the 2D contour. We go over to the menu. We see that our tool, the 1/4 inch router bit, is still selected. We go to the geometry and we pick the silhouette function so we can pick the outside of the bowl. So I went down to the bottom of the bowl and picked the outside circle. I made sure Start Outside was chosen. I wanted to add tabs, and I prefer the triangular shape. I use the help screen, which is the 3 dots on the right, to make sure I got my tab direction right, because I like my width, as this is defined, to be 5/8. There's too many tabs, so I changed the tab distance between the tabs to be 4 inches from 2, so I get half as many. That looks better. So now we go to the multiple depths. I don't want to cut this all in one pass. So I set it up for 1/8 of an inch, step down because I'm chicken. I'm new to this, so I'm being conservative. So now we go back to simulate to see how the outside cuts. The cutting looks good, but I didn't get the tabs right. I made them too thin. So we exit simulate, we go back to edit the toolpath, and we can see that the tab height is 0.025. I like it thicker than that. I thought I made it 1/4 of an inch, not 0.025. That looks much better. I use a flush trim bit to cut my tabs, so I'm not too worried about the size as long as the flush trim bit can cut it. We go back to simulate, cut it, and that looks pretty darn good to me. So now we have to take this program to the CNC. And now for the test cut. This is cutting the cedar just fine. Looks really good in the pocket. And now to cut the outside. This is looking good. So I hope this video helps you start with your Fusion setup with more confidence than I did. But I got it to work, so all's well that ends well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and ring the bell. I appreciate you watching the Johnsonville Woodworker.